Welcome to All Things Green. I'm Chris, and here we talk about energy and green energy and not so green energy and everything energy. I have 25 years experience in the energy business in New York State. So a lot of this stuff will apply directly to folks that live in New York, but we can look at principles and things. But if we get program specific, it'll be New York and any other state that I might have a little bit of knowledge on. But New York's where I've been working, so that's the one I know the best. So what's the point of this channel? The point of this channel is that as a believer, how do I respond to the green energy thing? And I think it's very, very simple. I think right in Genesis in the Bible, for lack of a whiteboard or fancy editing skills, here it is. Genesis 1, that we're supposed to be stewards. And a good steward is always going to try and preserve the bounty, preserve and use wisely the resources. It wasn't only in Genesis 1, it was also in Genesis 8. So, that's the foundation for this whole channel. And we'll get into how do I be a good steward of the energy that I use. So, insulation in your house, energy efficient appliances, programs that may be available to you to improve your home. It's pretty well known, at least in the industry, that $1 in energy conservation measures can produce a couple of dollars of real world savings elsewhere. So the idea being, if you make the house healthier and more energy efficient, you can save money downstream on not just energy, but also health costs. So we're going to look at all that. We'll look at healthy houses. But wait, there's more. So how do I know about energy? Well, 25 years in insulation business. Well, 25 years I started in insulation, and then learned heating, then learned some air conditioning, and learned building science along the way. Got into some technical, some serious technical level of knowledge. Became a inspector for a couple of the energy programs in New York State. Did that for a few years. Went back into contracting. Did that for quite a few years. Also did a stint as a weatherization instructor, trainer, national speaker, regional speaker. Held all of the certifications for single family residential housing that you could probably hold in the industry at one point. Practically wrote some of those tests to get certified as well. And then more recently moved on to multifamily residential because it's a little less work. More stairs, bigger buildings, but somewhat less work, let's say. And frankly, I don't want to crawl around attics anymore. My knees are pretty beat up. But so yeah, 25 years ago, was looking for a job, and a friend of mine who had been an attic insulation installer, said, hey, go down and see Frank, and he's always hiring guys. You know how to insulate? I said, yeah. He goes, go down there and Frank will hire you on the spot. So I went down, and as the other owner's wife put it, probably 10 or 15 years later, we were at a get-together, and she goes, you walked in the door like an angel from heaven because you knew how to use the tools and you had a driver's license. I said, well, that was a surprising introduction, but I've also been introduced as a guy who's forgotten more than I know in the industry. So I've got 1.5 million stories of experiences, and I hope to get them in a book at some point. But we're just gonna have fun with this channel. We're gonna have like a fireside. I don't have a fire in my workshop. This is if you follow my Towpath Guitar channel at all on Facebook or on YouTube, this is the backdrop in my garage. So we're keeping it real. No fancy studio set up in the corner. But so I've got 1 million stories. I'll share a bunch of them on here. It's been fun. There's days that, you get up and you don't want to go to work, or you come home and you just like, I need to sit in a chair. And my wife would say, what happened today? And I said, well, I saved 10 people's lives because I found something that nobody else had found, and literally did save their life because their house was going to kill them. So yeah, you run into that kind of thing. There's always those kind of stories, and I've got many of those stories. But I like this to be like a fireside chat. We'll sit down, I'll have a topic, and we'll just discuss it. And I'll give you some facts. I'll give you my opinion, and I'll tell you, this is the fact. Here's where you find it. And this is my opinion. This is why I have this opinion. I'm going to keep the comments open. And I'll keep them open until they get completely out of hand. And then we'll just shut them down. Because I don't mind a debate. There's a lot of this. It's debate. Climate's changing. Yeah. I personally don't think we have to worry about the end of the world from climate change. But it is changing. I mean, at some point where I'm sitting in my workshop was covered by a mile thick layer of ice. So yeah, we don't have ice anymore. So yeah, it's getting warmer. Is it going to turn into a desert? Probably not. But we'll talk about that. Probably here in the next couple of weeks, one of the next videos will be on the Energy Star marketing flop, which is a fun story, educational, and it's all about lights. So it's also a good way to kind of introduce the idea that, yeah, we can wring every cent of energy efficiency out of something, but is it worth it? And can we live with it? And we'll get into those discussions soon enough. But we'll talk about insulation because it's winter's fast approaching here in New York, so we'll talk about that. We may have to move this inside. It gets kind of cold out here in the winter. No insulation in my garage yet. But yeah, so we'll keep the comments open, and as long as the discussions are polite and you want to debate facts, I got no problem with that. And of course, probably what's on everybody's mind: should I get an electric car? I'll give you a preview of that video when we get to it. I'll give it to you right now. Should you get one? Electric cars have been around for over 100 years. Literally about 135 years they've been around. They started out basically like a Model T on electric lead acid batteries, and the CEO was probably the only one who could afford it, and he would unplug it in his carriage barn and drive to the office a couple miles away in downtown where he worked, and he'd plug it in, and at the end of the day he could drive it home, and he didn't have to deal with a horse. He didn't have to have somebody to take care of the horse and shovel out the stall and all of that stuff that went on. Was it convenient for him? Sure. Did it work for him? Yeah, he was only driving a couple miles. They had about 60-mile range on a lead acid battery. Of course, they didn't have all the weight. They didn't have all the electronics. They didn't have heat. So a lot lighter vehicle, and surprisingly efficient for its time and its range and what it could do. There's still a few of them around. I will share the channel that has a video that has one of them. Should you buy one? If you want one, go buy one. Let's put it that way. For me and my driving habits, it doesn't really work. I have some fundamental issues with the fact that you're sitting over a battery, and the battery can catch fire at any time, whether it's in use, charging, discharging, sitting in your driveway doing nothing. If I'm sitting in it, I mean, getting out of my Honda Civic is fun with bad knees. So I'm not inclined to get an electric car. Now, you want a hybrid? Yeah, I like the hybrids. I think the hybrid is a good step in efficiency from a full, gasoline or diesel car or vehicle. I drove a hybrid for almost 2 years, and it was fun. It was kind of peppy. Probably the newest car I've ever driven, but it was fun, and I liked it, and it got me around, and 500-mile range, which was pretty impressive. Although I have to say, my Civic will do 400, so it's only an extra 100. I don't know, but I don't want to drag this one out. But anyway, you get the idea. So we'll have some fun. We'll have some fireside chats, and we'll just talk about what's out there for technology, and is it worth it? How do we respond as a believer? If you want to try out the new technology, go for it. Me, I'm kind of like, I'll hang back and wait till about the third generation and see how it's going before I bite. But some of it's good, some of it's bad, and again, we'll filter it through whether we're being good stewards or not by looking at cost savings, lifetime, and replacement costs and things like that. So, all right, that's it for today, and I'll catch you on the next video.